Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome to Boss Talks. And if it's your first time, welcome. And the reason why we do this is so you can be the boss of your life. We want you to take control of your life. Don't believe all the naysayers. We want you to have everything that is holistically successful to you. So that means more money in your pocket, better relationships, better health, just better all-round life, because you're here for a good time and to enjoy your life and have happiness. And that's what this is about. So the cost of entry, if this is your first time, the cost of entry is, if this is valuable to you and you've got something from this, share it out. Tell a friend and get the word out. We don't put advertisements on this. We don't do anything like that. This is just value so you can be the boss of your life. So today we want to talk about health because it's a part of holistic success. I believe that you can't have a successful life if you don't have your health. Like, all the money in the world is going to help you if you're sick. So Kristine, what do you think about health? Tell me about health. What does it mean?
This is one of my favourite topics, mate, and I love teaching people about all aspects of health and how it can really help you perform at your best, really, help you step into your greatness. And I don't think a lot of people out there really understand the definition of health, so I'm going to read it out for you. So health is the state of being free from illness or injury, and it's a person's mental or physical condition. So when we talk about health, Joel, most people think we're just talking about what they're putting in their body, what they're eating on a daily basis, but it's so much more than that, and with a personal training background, I see what people put in their body, and I also hear the thoughts that are going into people's minds, and I see the physicality of their fitness levels as well. So I get to see all aspects of a human being and in regards to health. And what I love to do is teach them that most people just go to the gym when they want to lose weight, right? Most people think, okay, I want to lose weight, and they go and sign up to a gym, and that's their first step. And I'm here to tell you today that that is definitely not your first step, okay? The first thing you need to do is, 1, make the decision. 2, make the commitment that you'll do whatever it takes to reach your goal. And then 3, you want to work with your mind. Okay, you want to visualize the results that you want. So if it is weight loss, visualize yourself in the body shape that you would love to be, your ideal body shape, okay? And then what you want to do is work backwards. So when do you want to achieve this goal by? And what's your strategy? What's your plan? If you don't have a plan, you are planning to fail, okay? So you must have a plan. So that's a few tips around how to get started when it comes to improving your health. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but a couple of statistics for you. 1, the number of incidents of heart attacks go up on a Monday. The number of incidents of suicide goes up on a Monday. People are that flippin' stressed in their job and everyday life that they're making themselves sick enough to either end it or to have a heart attack. We are also seeing around 35 million prescriptions in Australia alone in 1 year going out to people with mental illness. Okay, we are one of the highest consumers of medications for mental illness in the world.
That's insane.
It's insane. The other thing is that every hour in Australia, we have 1 man dying from heart disease and we have 5 people dying from cancer. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but 80% of heart disease is preventable. 66% of cancer is preventable. It's simply the lifestyle choices, the exposure we have to stress, and how we're treating our physical form that is putting us in these states, our body in this state of dis-ease. Our body can't cope. It shows up as inflammation. It shows up as pain. And then it shows up as strokes, diabetes, cancers, heart attacks, anxiety, depression, the works. So if you really want to take control of your life, if you are really serious about being the boss of your business, of your life, of your relationships, of your health, then you have to start taking it more seriously. You have to start waiting for the quick fix. There is no flipping quick fix. But the thing is, Joel, what I see is people overcomplicate it. It's not hard to be healthy. It really isn't. You just have to cipher through the information that you're being bombarded with on a daily basis, because let's face it, the big corporations are in it for themselves. They have found this thing called the bliss point, which keeps us addicted to their foods to make us loyal customers. So it's not actually your fault. They're actually chemically inducing these foods so it's got the right amount of sweet to salty so that we keep coming back and eating those foods. But you have to make the decision that you are sick of your current situation. You are sick enough of the pain, the suffering, of not feeling how you want to feel on a daily basis, and then make the commitment to make the necessary changes. So that's kind of what I think about health.
And like those statistics are just not, I can't tolerate those. Honestly, it's exactly why we do that. That's exactly why we do this podcast. It's exactly why we do what we do, because someone's got to stand up and say that enough's enough. Like the government is not there to help you. They're not. Like we've been trained to believe they are, but you have to be the boss of your own life. You need to take the reins. And I actually don't watch TV as a rule. And I was down in Melbourne recently at an event, and I wanted to defrag. So I just flicked the TV on, and a damn commercial came on. I was remembering why I don't watch TV, but it actually said, could you be overweight? If you are, go see your GP. There might be a pill for it. It literally said that. And I was like, did I actually just dream that? I wanted to get my phone out and record it, because what a complete load of crap that they're telling you that there's this tablet that you can take to stop you from being overweight. Like, it's just, it takes work. I've had weight struggles in my life. Like there was a time where I was over 130 kilos, and essentially what I needed to do is I had to want it enough to lose the weight. And what I had was motivation from my son growing up. And I didn't want to be one of those dads that he was either embarrassed of. He's like, who's that guy's dad? Like, who's that over there? And I got enough leverage on myself. I didn't want him to be 12, 13, 14 and not being able to kick the soccer ball around with him, or even worse, having a stroke or being one of those statistics, And I was at 130 kilos, I was heading down that road. It's only a matter of time before your luck runs out and you become a statistic. So I had enough leverage to want to do it. And I did everything. I did everything from, the fad diets to the low carb to everything. And all it really did was I got skinny. Skinny is I got slim, and I was really fit, and I was really unhealthy. So there's I guess the point I'm making is there's a good way to do it. There's also a better way to do it. Now, losing the weight was probably worth doing it that way, although I couldn't live like that. I couldn't have been on a low carb, basically carnivore diet forever, because you end up in serious trouble. And I guess there's all different body types and everything like that. But realistically, you got to find someone that can help you, and it's a big thing. It is such a big thing. If you are eating yourself to death, it's just a slow form of suicide, really. And I wasn't going down like that. I wasn't going to go out like that. So you just got to make a decision. Find that leverage is what I'm saying. And it really just comes down to the habits that you've got. And we want you to be able to take stuff away from this that you can action straight away. And this is something that I recently did, because my health was starting to suffer a little bit. I was all about finance. I was all about a lot of other things. I'd started traveling a lot, going to different events, and then the excuses can come in really easily. Hey, I couldn't find any good food and all that, which is just bullshit. But anyway, you just don't do it. But one thing that my coach helped me with is he said, look, it's your habits. He said, so what people do is they hit a point where they're overweight, and they're that's it, I'm never eating pizza again. And that's not realistic. in most cases, like, because you're eating pizza because you like pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion is don't take pizza completely out. Just investigate what your habit is for eating pizza. So what you do is you can get a piece of paper, draw a line down the center, and on one side you have your old habit. So my old habit was I could smash an entire pizza myself, no worries. And, and then some leftovers and stuff like that. There'd be no worries, right? So what you got to do is so to get the new habit, to dig that out, you got to answer this question. What am I prepared to live with for the rest of my life? Am I willing to change this habit and live with it for the rest of my life? So my coach said to me, say that you, instead of eating an average pizza is I think 8 slices or something like that. Well, maybe instead of eating an entire pizza, eat 4 slices max, and only if you can have a green salad with it. And he says, what you end up doing is you can live with that for the rest of your life. You're not going to eat pizza all the time, and you'll find that if you've got a salad there, eat all the salad and all that. And the other one was I'd go out and the kids would get desserts and everything like that, and they wouldn't eat it all, and I just pick off their plate. Well, I just had to take that out. And am I prepared to not eat off my kid's plate for the rest of my life? Yes, I'm prepared to do that. And then I just decided he challenged me to, so find a buddy that's going to challenge you. He challenged me to run for every day. I had to run 5Ks every day until the 14th of May, and I started about 2 months ago. So, and it's paid off. I've dropped 8 kilos and I'm feeling amazing. And just putting those 2 little things together has affected me in the physical form and the mental. I feel more confident. I feel like I'm more solid in business. And, I've got a story now where I've beaten weight again. And honestly, with what we do, I don't believe, and this is going to get controversial, so I don't believe I want to be coached by a fat coach. Mm-hmm. And because I don't believe that, I don't think I should expect my clients, I don't think to do that. Because I want to be coached by someone who's got it all, mm-hmm. who's owning their life. Look at Grant Cardone, he's 60, he's bloody fit, and he's got Elena, she's fit as well. And you've got to sort of be fit to keep someone like Elena, and she's got to be fit to keep someone like Grant. So that's a good synergy. And then you look at Kirik and Erin. Yep. Kirik's not a spring chicken. I won't share his age because he doesn't talk about age anymore. It's rotations around the sun, which is cool. But he's looking great, and he's probably 10 times fitter than I am at the moment. And he's fairly a bit older. Look at Sylvester Stallone. Look at Tony Robbins. Look at the winners. And see what are they doing that you're not? They take it seriously. That's the holistic success. So yeah.
And you raised a great point at the start, and that was kids are a great motivator. They really are. And I thought of a movie when you were talking about being the big dad, and it was What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Oh. Does everyone remember that movie where they can't even get the mum out of the house, and they're teased and they're bullied, and it's not a funny subject because there are people out there that are living that exact life. However, why not use your kids as your motivation? Sometimes the kids come to the gym with me and it fires me up because I know the future that I want to have with those kids. And this reps for me, this reps for you, this reps for her. I put them into my rep routine and it drives me. And I think a lot of people, Joel, don't look into the future. I don't think they have the longevity of the goal. I know when I'm 70, I still want to be running marathons and things like that. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want to be, I want to have a really sharp mind, mental clarity. I want all that. So, people see me now and see me really fit and healthy, but I have to admit, it wasn't always like that. I was married in a previous life and we lived near a service station and we were at that service station every day. We were hooking into chips and chocolate, and I used to smash a whole pizza myself, and my ex-husband used to smash a whole pizza himself. So, we had those bad habits, so it came to a point where we tried to have kids. We went down the whole IVF route, and not one doctor asked me what I was putting in my body. What was I eating on a daily basis? All they said to me was stop exercising and reduce stress. Now, I was working in a 24/7 job. Like, I was on call to my boss 24/7. So to reduce stress was really difficult to do. Now, it wasn't until I became a personal trainer and I started looking at health differently that I started to make smarter choices, but it still wasn't where it was supposed to be. You know, I was still hooking into the pizzas. I was eating a block of chocolate a day. You know, I was living on 2-minute noodles and mashed potato sandwiches, and my body ended up just shutting down because it wasn't getting the micronutrition in that it needed. I felt really foggy. I felt very fatigued. My skin was horrible, and it just had that flow-on effect. And then you said something else just then, Joel, about, you know, you making these lifestyle changes, the decision and the commitment to make it happen has increased your confidence. It's increased your self-worth. It's made you clearer, more productive. Like, that's what we need, guys. That's the health and the lifestyle that we want for you. But it starts with the simple decision, because here's what happens. And you might be one of these people that is a cycle person. You get all gung-ho, you go and get the gym membership, you're juicing, you're doing all the right things, and then week 2 hits and you're back and you've fallen off the wagon, you're on that downward spiral, and you can't get yourself out of it. Okay, so if you recognize that and you are recognizing those old patterns, you need to replace them with new patterns. And Joel gave you some great suggestions. Now, something that I've done this year is I've added a green juice into my day every single day. So I also take an amazing whole food supplement. I also make sure that I am, out before the sun rises. I'm doing exercise. I'm doing my meditation, my deep breathing. I'm doing my I am statements, my positive affirmations. So I'm filling and fueling my body with the right stuff first thing in the morning. My mind is sharp. I've got good information going in there. I've got good air, oxygen. I've got the blood flowing and the adrenaline and the endorphins kicking in, the serotonin, and then I've got the fuel for my body. I've got the green juices, the smoothies, all that kind of thing. And that's just before the kids get up. So then that's a ritual. That's become a ritual for me. And I like to bookend my days. So I like to finish the day with an incredibly healthy meal. Last night we had an amazing vegetable stir fry with chickpeas. The kids loved it, with a bit of rice. And then it gives me peace of mind that whatever happens in our day is kind of okay, because I've bookended the days with good nutrition, going into our family's body. So I can't control everything that goes in my kid's body. I wish I could, because some people are feeding my kids some really horrible things, and they obviously don't know me very well. But people that know me really well know that I've got this thing about Zupa Dupas, and I'm just going to put it out there. This is going to be controversial, but I don't care. Zupa Dupas, guys, are banned in a lot of countries around the world. Everyone thinks they're just a bit of ice with a bit of colouring in them. No, there's lots of toxic chemicals in there that can play havoc with behavioural things and kids' health. So here on the Gold Coast, we have lots of hot days. So they were feeding my kids Zupa Dupas nearly every day to help cool them down. So I've had to put a stop to it and educate people around that. But that's just one food that's hitting our supermarket shelves. I did an experiment, and I really encourage you guys to do this too. If you walk down the aisles and you pick something off the shelf and you read the label, and there's a big long word or one of the words that's associated with the number, go and Google the side effects to that word.
It's going to be shocking.
You will be blown away. And then you'll pick up the next thing, and you'll pick up the next cereal. You'll pick up the next thing in a cardboard box. And it's not just things that we know are unhealthy. It's things that people, the general population, think is healthy.
Yeah.
They're trying to make healthy choices, but they're not reading the labels. They're not understanding that this is actually causing you more damage than good. Yeah. And you might as well eat the cardboard box that it came in. That's probably more nutritious than the actual thing that you're eating. So that's a really cool activity to do. Just go through and Google, because some of the side effects are absolutely insane. It'll blow your mind.
Did you see that? I haven't verified this myself yet. I just got a friend sent it to me, and I sent it out to my network that breath mints and chewing gum have got palm oil in them, which is like terrible for you. It's not what you want to put in your body. And like, well, if you do enough research, you hear what the corporations and everyone is telling you out there. When I say everyone, like a lot of the mainstream people tell you that Roundup is fine for human consumption. Although when you actually take a look at it, and Roundup's on so many things, like you can test even in organic wines and in your wine, in your alcohol, and anything, like on your fruit and veggies, they use Roundup. And it's a known carcinogenic, and you're putting this into your body. And it's just like, I just want you guys to be aware, like if you are not looking at what's in your stuff, like I was eating hummus because I was trying to be healthy. And then actually it was you that said like the numbers with the 200 on them in Australia, you need to really check in what you're doing. And I looked on the back and it was all natural except for one thing that was like in the 200s. I was like, no, I can't even eat that. But it's worth it. I just put it down. I just, instead of having the hummus, I just eat celery and the carrots now. And hopefully there's no Roundup on them. But like, you know, like try to go as organic. And it doesn't mean that you can nail it always. Like this isn't something that you can do necessarily cold turkey, but you can actually start to change your habits, start to get better, and just start to take things out and change your habits. Like I don't use plastic anymore. I've got a glass bottle for my alkaline water. Not only am I helping the environment there, which is a good thing to do, we've got to look after it by not having plastic bottles all the time, but I'm not getting those chemicals that are in the plastic bottles that we are told are okay. When you really do a bit of research, you realize they're not. And, you know, this is a part where we're probably dividing the audience a bit. They're sort of going, oh God, they've gone like crazy on us. Here's my thoughts around it. What if the worst case scenario is that you don't use plastic, for example, anymore, and that plastic actually doesn't hurt you? The best case scenario is that plastic does hurt you and you're not using it and you don't have that going in your body. So even if it's not true, which I believe it is, that the plastic can get inside your body and cause harm, and you know, what if Zuba Dubas aren't all the things that we've just said, which we believe they are? Like, what's the worst case scenario? Well, you're just not having it and you're replacing it with something that's better anyway. It's by comparison better. So that's how I do it. Like, I'd rather than take any chances, I just cut it out because I don't need it. I don't need to use plastic bottles. You know, like I don't need to. So
yeah, and dairy's another good one. And the dairy farmers are going to hate me for saying this, but if you think about it, guys, dairy comes from an animal and is designed to raise a 400-pound calf. Yeah. It has the growth hormones in it for a 400-pound animal, and you're putting that into your body every day, or your kid's body every day, and you're wondering why our hormones and everything are all out of whack. Like making the change from dairy to non-dairy was difficult in our house because I love my cheese. I've hated milk all my life pretty much, but I love cheese, and I used to love, you know, yogurts and things like that. But it's about making smart swaps, you know, and we're coming to a time where swaps are easy these days. You know, it's getting easier to have a plant-based diet. You know, you've got your almond milks, your rice milks, your soy milk if you want. I know there's lots of controversy around soy as well, but again, you can do your research on that and look for non-GMO and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, dairy for me, and I stopped my kids having dairy from the age they were 1. We had to use a little bit of formula for a little while, but then we sort of took it out, and they haven't missed it. You know, every now and then, if we have visitors, we'll have a cheese platter with fruits and veggies as well. And I had a pizza last week and I had a dirty Coke with it. So we're not perfect.
I've had a Coke for a while, I can tell you.
We are not perfect, but you know what? Joel was right. It's all about, like, I love pizza. I love making my own pizza from scratch. But it's not something that I want to give up for the rest of my life, but it's not something that I'm having every week either. It's one of those things that, you know, I intuitively eat. And if I feel like it, I'll have it. Now, I am a vegetarian 90% of the time, okay? But I'm one of those blood types that, you know, needs meat every now and then. So, but I can feel in my body when that is. And most people are not tuning in, Joel, to how they're feeling and what their body actually needs. Like, your body is so smart, it'll actually start craving some of the fruits and veggies that it's missing the nutrients and the minerals from. So I'll give you an example. Like my kids will hook into punnets and punnets of blueberries. They love it. They go through this phase of just eating a ton of blueberries, and then they won't touch it for another month. You know, their body has had enough, and it's like, yep, we've had enough of that. And then they'll do the same with avocados. And then all of a sudden my daughter will say, oh, I don't like avocados anymore. And that's okay. It's just your body has reached that point where it's like, yep, I've had enough of that, moving on. It's all about variety. It's all about getting that rainbow of color variety in every single day. And I've withheld a lot of the bad food from my kids because I feel like the moment I introduce it, they're going to start craving it and wanting it more and more. So if you can hold off, and if it's too late and you're like, oh, my kids have had absolutely everything. Like my kids have never been to McDonald's. Like it's just, I think my daughter was 5 before she even knew what McDonald's was, you know. And for me, it's just something that we just don't eat in our household. But I know that some families, it's a weekly thing. It's connection. It's where you go to have like a Friday night meal, and it's just that quick fix when you're tired and exhausted at the end of the week. I get that. I totally get it. But why not create some healthier versions at home? You know, why not bake your own chips? And you know, there's some beautiful vegetarian chicken nuggets out there now that are absolutely amazing and taste just as good as the real thing. So start looking for alternatives. I know it's hard because there's lots of things being thrown at you all the time, but it's your responsibility to cipher through the information and stop being a sheeple. Stop following the masses, because if you do that, you're going to get the results of the masses, which is dis-ease.
Yeah. Honestly, if you sit in a McDonald's and you have a look at the people going in and out of there, like I don't think that, it's going to sound generalizing, I don't think they're there to make great decisions. I don't think they're making great decisions in life. And I can say that because part of the way I got to the weight I was eating all that junk food. And I was one of them. And like what I do is I go to a vegan shop or a vegetarian shop or a whole food shop, just they're out there. Like there's an About Life franchise going around, and there's all these like healthy eating is becoming cool. Like instead of you getting a punnet of chips or whatever you get, you're getting like beans and stuff like that. And
Oliver's.
They're crazy. Oliver's, that's the other one I was trying to think of. So it's all there if you want it. You can just still have your connections by going there. And I guess I want to like drag it back a little bit. Like when you said you were eating all that junk food and you were foggy, I'm interested to know, like, what was your business like? What was your money like? Were you earning well then, or were you struggling? Or
yeah, I was in hospitality, and no, I wasn't earning what I was worth. I wasn't performing at my peak. I was also a uni student. I was failing subjects. I was just so exhausted. I was having nana naps on the train to uni, from uni. And even when I actually landed my corporate role, I would close the blinds, I'd lock the door, and I would have a sleep under my desk in the afternoon. And that's where I was getting paid. I was getting paid good money, but I just was not performing anywhere near my best. And my relationships really suffered for it as well. I was hanging around people that just wanted to get drunk all the time. And don't get me wrong, like I still enjoy a wine here and there, but the binginess of it has gone, you know. And it's not like, if I went the rest of my life without alcohol, I think I'd be okay. You know, it doesn't rule my life like it used to back then. But I think it's the peer group as well. My peer group changed, and I just started getting healthier because the long-term vision meant more to me than that short-term satisfaction. And the kids really changed it for me. When my kids were born, I just wanted to be the best mum. I wanted to be the best version of myself, not just for me, but for them. And also for my partner and for my family. Like, I really feel like our gift to this planet is being the healthiest, happy version of ourselves that we can be.
Yeah. Like Ed Milet says that he would not be anywhere near as successful in his business. And like, we're talking a guy, like, if you know who Ed Milet is, if you don't, check him out. But he's one of those guys that owns his own private jet, so he knows what he's talking about in business. And he says that he would not be successful if he didn't work out in the gym, if he didn't have a workout and he didn't care about his health. And, you know, he's quite a bit older than we are and further down the track in business than we are. And he's super fit. He's held it together. Like he's got standards. And that's really what it comes back to, is like raising your standards. And I think a lot of the time people don't even remember what healthy feels like. For starters, you know, and, you know, you just got to decide that that's who you are now. Like I'm now a guy that runs 5Ks every day, no matter what. If I miss a day, I've got to run 10 the next, or I've got to make it up. That's the average. And I'm going to keep some form of that healthy habit going all the time. And like for as long as I can run on the earth, like hopefully I'm running when I'm 90 and doing marathons when I'm 90 and everything like that. But the stress and the dis-ease, it's like stress has been linked to disease and like inflammation, like you said, and cancer and strokes and all these things. They believe that it's the chemicals that your body releases into your body under a stress situation that causes this stuff. So like, how do we turn that around? How do we become the person that wants to get up and run, wants to like, how do you find leverage? How do we turn this around?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because the number one reason why people see their GP is for stress-related symptoms, you know, and I think it's something like 1.5 million Australians went in to see their doctor last year in regards to fatigue, you know, so we're tired, we're exhausted and we're stressed, and it is pushing our bodies to the limit, you know, and causing so much disease and comfort for people. But a lot of people are suffering in silence as well, and they're not doing anything about it, because this is going to be a little bit controversial for some of you, but some of you are comfortable with being uncomfortable with your health. It's actually giving you some of the 6 human needs, significance, and it's giving you connection. People are giving you sympathy, and they're playing into your illness. So you stay there because it's meeting some kind of need. So, and I know some of you are probably thinking, Kristine, that's bullshit. I don't want this illness. I didn't ask for this illness or this disease. And I get that. But you really need to go, okay, can I use the power of my mind to change what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing? How can I reduce it? What steps can I take? How can I be a healthier, happier version of myself? So, yeah, I think it has to. I totally forget the question that you asked, Joel.
Well, I think people are just comfortable with being a loser.
Yeah,
I think they get a connection with that. I think that they like, if they got healthy, they will tell themselves a story that their friends won't like them anymore, or they'll change, or if they get more money, they'll be alienated, or they'll become a bad person. And I think they allow themselves to live a shitty mediocre life because of it. And I guess like I feel like I can say that because I was doing that myself. I was like, I wasn't being bold, I wasn't shining, I was flying under the radar, I was doing all those things, and I wasn't serving myself, I wasn't serving my kids. Like, being overweight's not helping my kids. Being broke isn't helping my family or society. If I can't buy things in society because I'm being a loser, then I'm not helping the economy. I'm not paying taxes. I'm not employing people. Like, if we all just lose the loser mentality and just step the hell up and realize and understand that health's a big part of it, you know, like, you can, like, if you're winning in finance and you're like gonna like die, like because you're overweight or you're stressed, like Kirik's, he mentions like Crazy John's, the phone guy, $210 million in the bank and a heart attack at 44. His whole goal was to get rich enough so he could spend more time with his family. Now, do you think you can, if you had $240 million in the bank, or 210 or whatever it was, that you could spend more time with your family? Or he missed the point, and he paid for it. Like, he was stressed and overweight and all these things. And like, I'm not speaking ill of the dead. It's just like, he's there as a warning. Now, I'm not even going to read into whether there was more to it than that. But my guess is, like, if there's a chance that me learning how to de-stress my life and become more healthy, and I'm less likely to be tempting fate. So, like, I guess that gets me back to the question, like, how do we do that? How do we lose the disease, the dis-ease? How do we lower the stress? like for the people listening that are freaking out because, hey, I'm overweight, or hey, Joel just called me a loser or something like that. Like, I'm not. We're all winners. You can just twist it. But
yeah, it's not that difficult to reduce the stress. It really isn't. Say no to some things. Stop trying to be a people pleaser. Stop saying yes to everybody else and no to yourself. Do what brings you joy. Do what makes you happy. If you don't want to go out and with your friends on a Friday night, don't do it. If you'd rather stay home and do some self-development, do that. Do more of the things that bring you joy into your life, because that's when you are closer to the one. That's when you feel more centered, when you're more in spirit, and you'll be more effective as a human being. And you'll be that example that you want to be. You'll be the better version of yourself. And a lot of people get into the comparison game, and it kills them, it really does. And how often do we see it where people work their asses off their entire life, they have the stress, they have the adrenaline running through their body every day, and then they die within that first 12 months of retirement. It happens so often. Or how often do you see people that are so stressed and the adrenaline is happening all throughout the year, then they take their holidays and they're sick for the 2 weeks or the 4 weeks because their body's now calmer and relaxed, and now the immune system is,
they eat bad foods to escape. They drink alcohol to escape.
Compromise.
Yeah, their life.
So there's so many ways, and I just want to give the listeners today a few tips, because we want the best for you guys. We really do, and we're giving you this information. And Joel and I are not experts. We're not 100% perfect, and we don't have all the answers. Okay, and we don't claim to. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to take charge of your own health. And that's mentally, physically, spiritually, and nutritionally. And you need to do the things that get you closer to the goals that you want to be. So have a look at the last 5 years. How was your health? How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? And what is one thing that you would love to change about your health today? What's the number one priority? That if you could get this one thing in order, it would bring more happiness and joy to you and more fulfillment. Start with that one thing. Start there, okay? And then start creating some good, positive habits around it. So let's say the thing is energy. A lot of people come to us, Joel, about energy, don't they? So if it's energy, what time are you going to bed? Are you letting your body prepare for sleep? Or are you staying on all your devices right up to the minute that you go to bed, and then you're in this insomnia state where your body hasn't had the right chemicals running through it to prepare it for sleep? You miss that opportunity, which happens around 9:30. And then once you miss it, if you stay up too late, it's so much harder to get your body to fall asleep naturally the way that it should. So maybe that's one area that you start with, is making it really switching off all the devices by 9:30, reading a book, and making sure that you're unwinding for the day. It might be that you get up at 5 a.m. Maybe you want to do this crazy 5 a.m. club that I'm doing every day, where you do your victory hour in the morning. You do 20 minutes of exercise, you do some meditation, deep breathing, journaling, and then you do your self-development. Now, people might say, oh, that's not going to bring me more energy. How can I get out of bed? Guys, I wasn't a morning person. I really wasn't. But you'll be surprised how much more energy you get through the day and how much more productive you are by getting up at 5 a.m. before the rest of the household, before the sun rises, before the rest of the world is awake. It's amazing, and it makes you feel fulfilled, and it brings so much joy in. And I take a photo every day that I'm down at the beach, because every day the sky is different, and it's so amazing. It's magical. So I highly recommend you read the 5 a.m. book. It's amazing. So they're just a few things of where to start, but there's so much more. And this health topic, it's a big one.
I can see many more podcasts around this,
Yes.
and we'll dive into more specifics. And I guess just to sum it up, use people that like, rather than comparing yourself to them, use them as inspiration. Be happy for them and use them to inspire you. I spend a lot of time around people that are a lot healthier, a lot wealthier than me, and I just look at them and decide, like, I'm so happy for them, and I want to model them. I'm using them as inspiration, using a little bit of competitiveness to chase them down. Like, I want to be able to say what Kirik Ashley can say. Like, I'm at this age and I'm this healthy, and Sylvester Stallone can say I'm like this age and I'm just doing Rocky 5 and I'm just doing Rambo and all this stuff. Like, and you look at him and he's super fit at that age, like, because he just expects it. So guys, just expect more from yourself. If this has triggered you, good. I hope this is actually giving you the energy to move and to wake up, because the last thing you want to do is teach your kids or the public that it's okay to not live a masterpiece life. You want to, and health is a massive part of it. You can't win while you're unhealthy. So amazing. That was a good one. All right.
Awesome.
Have a great day. Share this around if this has been valuable.
Damn. Yeah.